Start with an immediate, startling statement to grab attention. Hint that the explanation is both surprising and scientifically intriguing. Your mind and theirs are quietly linked in ways we often overlook. During special moments, like Christmas, emotions stir memories that rise from the unconscious. Tiny invisible signals like shared dreams, sudden recollections, or instinctive thoughts can show who's thinking of you. Even the slightest coincidence, a song, a smell, a memory triggered, can carry proof of these unconscious connections. The universe has subtle ways of letting you know that you are in someone else's mind, even when neither of you realize it consciously. Have you ever suddenly remembered someone at the most unexpected moment, like when a song plays, a smell drifts by, or even while wrapping presents during Christmas? That's not just coincidence. Our minds are wired to connect emotions with memories in ways we barely notice. These connections lie deep in the unconscious, quietly storing every meaningful experience, every significant person, and every emotional moment. And during special times like the holidays, these memories are more likely to rise to the surface. Think about it. Certain scents, like pine from a Christmas tree, the smell of fresh cookies, or even a particular perfume, can instantly bring someone to mind. These aren't random triggers. Our unconscious mind links emotions and experiences with sensory input. When that sensory input appears again, it nudges the memory forward, often without us realizing why. That person you thought of during Christmas may have been brought to mind by something as subtle as the scent of cinnamon or the sound of a carol you used to hear together. It's not only smells. Songs, phrases, even images can act as invisible triggers. Maybe you saw a decoration that reminded you of a shared moment, or a tune from a holiday playlist sparked a memory. The unconscious mind does this naturally. It's a filing system for our experiences. Memories aren't stored randomly. They're stored with layers of emotional significance. The stronger the emotional imprint, the more likely the mind will recall that person during meaningful moments. The fascinating part is that these triggers are universal. They're not limited to one person's experience. They happen to everyone. Yet they feel intensely personal because they touch emotions that are deeply ours. During Christmas, a time of reflection and sentiment, these triggers are amplified. Our mind searches for connections, for feelings of warmth, nostalgia, and belonging. That sudden thought of someone you haven't seen in a while isn't a coincidence. It's your unconscious mind highlighting an emotional connection, reminding you that someone still exists in your internal world. Even more intriguing is how this can go both ways. While you feel the memory rise, that person might be experiencing similar unconscious triggers, thinking of you at the same time. It's not magic, nor psychic ability. It's the natural rhythm of the unconscious mind, responding to life's cues, subtly linking you to others. So next time someone suddenly comes to mind during Christmas, notice it. Pay attention to the sights, sounds, and smells around you. These unconscious triggers are quiet evidence of the mind's hidden connections. They remind us that even when words aren't exchanged, our memories and emotions can reach across time and space, quietly reconnecting us with those who matter. Have you ever felt a sudden wave of emotion around the holidays? One that seems tied to a specific person from your past? Maybe it happens when you unwrap a gift, hear a familiar song, or watch a scene that reminds you of them. That feeling is more than nostalgia. It's what we can call an emotional imprint, a lasting trace of someone's presence in your mind and heart, formed during meaningful experiences. These imprints are stored deeply in the unconscious, quietly influencing the thoughts and feelings that arise during special times like Christmas. Emotional imprints form whenever an experience leaves a strong impression, especially when feelings are intense: joy, love, comfort, or even longing. The holidays are rich with these emotional layers: family gatherings, shared traditions, laughter, and warmth. When these moments involve someone significant, their presence becomes etched into your unconscious memory. Later, even years afterward, the mind can awaken these imprints at moments that feel perfectly timed. That sudden thought of a friend, a family member, or someone you care about during Christmas is your emotional memory surfacing. What's fascinating is how involuntary this process is. You don't consciously decide to remember someone. Your emotions do it for you. The unconscious mind uses these imprints as reminders of meaningful connections. That warmth you feel when thinking about them isn't accidental. It's your mind signaling that this person has played an important role in your life. Emotional imprints act like invisible bookmarks, holding places for the people who have shaped your experiences, and they often resurface during periods that feel emotionally charged, like holidays. Another intriguing aspect is how emotional imprints can create resonance between people. Sometimes, someone else is recalling you at the same moment. The feelings attached to these imprints exist in both minds, silently echoing each other. You might notice coincidences, receiving a message, seeing a photo, or feeling an inexplicable urge to reach out. These subtle signals are reflections of the emotional imprints that bind people together across time and space, even when communication hasn't occurred. The holidays are especially powerful because they amplify emotions. Decorations, music, traditions, all of these act as catalysts, stirring emotional imprints from the past. That person who comes to mind during Christmas isn't just a fleeting thought. They are part of the network of emotions and memories that your mind has been carrying quietly. Recognizing these imprints allows you to appreciate the depth of human connection, to understand that thoughts are more than random. They are guided by emotions that continue to shape your inner world. So, this Christmas, when someone unexpectedly appears in your thoughts, pause for a moment. Feel the warmth and the memory. That person's presence in your mind is an emotional imprint, proof of the lasting bonds we carry, often unconsciously, and a reminder that the people who matter most are never truly far away. Have you ever experienced a moment where you thought of someone only to receive a message from them at exactly the same time? Or perhaps you suddenly remembered a friend you hadn't spoken to in months, and later learned they were thinking of you too. This phenomenon is what we can call synchrony of thought, a subtle alignment of minds that often happens without any direct communication. During Christmas, when emotions are heightened and memories run deep, this alignment becomes even more noticeable. Synchrony of thought happens when two people who share a meaningful connection experience similar mental triggers at the same time. These triggers can be memories, emotions, or even external cues like music, decorations, or the smell of the holidays. The unconscious mind plays a central role in this process. It stores emotional connections and memories, and sometimes these stored patterns surface simultaneously in different people. When that happens, it can feel like an invisible thread is linking your thoughts with theirs. This alignment isn't magic. It's a natural result of shared experiences and emotional bonds. The more significant someone is in your life, the stronger the connection stored in your unconscious. Over time, these bonds create a sort of mental resonance where similar triggers lead to similar thoughts. Around Christmas, many of these triggers, festive traditions, nostalgic songs, or seasonal smells, are amplified. The mind becomes more sensitive to memories and emotions, which makes synchrony of thought more likely. Interestingly, synchrony of thought often manifests in small but meaningful ways. It could be a sudden urge to reach out to someone, a fleeting memory that appears out of nowhere, or even an intuitive sense that someone is thinking of you. While it might feel coincidental, these moments are quiet evidence of the connections we carry within us. They remind us that our thoughts are not isolated. They are part of a web of shared experiences and emotions that stretch across relationships. This phenomenon also encourages reflection. When someone unexpectedly comes to mind during the holidays, consider the possibility that the feeling is mutual. The mind often mirrors the emotional states of those we care about, especially when shared memories or meaningful bonds are involved. Recognizing synchrony of thought allows us to appreciate the subtle, unconscious ways people remain connected, even when life separates us physically. So this Christmas, pay attention to these moments. When a friend or loved one crosses your mind unexpectedly, notice the timing and the feeling. That fleeting thought could be a reflection of their own unconscious connection to you, a gentle reminder that even across distance and time, minds can align and hearts can remain in sync. It's one of the quiet, beautiful ways human connections persist, quietly bridging the gaps between people, even when words are absent. Have you ever noticed little things someone does that make you feel like they were thinking of you, even when they didn't reach out directly? Maybe they liked an old photo, shared a memory online, or left a small gift that seemed perfectly timed. These are subtle signs in behavior, tiny actions that can reveal someone's unconscious thoughts. Around Christmas, when emotions run deeper and memories are stirred, these behaviors often carry more meaning than we realize. Subtle signs aren't always obvious. They might be as small as checking in with you indirectly, sending a message that seems casual but is perfectly timed, or posting something that reminds you of shared moments. Often, the person isn't fully aware of why they did it. These actions are guided by the unconscious, reflecting thoughts, feelings, or memories they might not even realize are influencing them. What seems coincidental is often the mind acting quietly, nudging behavior in ways that show attention and care. During the holidays, these signs become even more pronounced. The season is emotionally charged, full of memories and traditions that naturally trigger reflection. Someone might suddenly remember a shared experience, decorating a tree, enjoying a holiday meal, or laughing over an old joke, and respond with an action that signals they were thinking of you. Even without words, these behaviors are proof of the connections that persist beneath the surface, evidence of someone's thoughts surfacing unconsciously. Behavioral signs can also appear in patterns. Perhaps someone repeatedly interacts with your posts, comments on memories, or engages in seemingly small gestures that carry emotional weight. These patterns often go unnoticed at first, but when observed over time, they reveal a consistent undercurrent of thought and attention. Our minds pick up on these cues, creating a sense of connection even when explicit communication hasn't occurred. Recognizing these subtle signs allows us to better understand human connection. They remind us that thinking of someone doesn't always require speaking or messaging. Actions, even minor ones, can carry significant meaning. Around Christmas, these signs are amplified because the holidays naturally heighten reflection, nostalgia, and the desire to reconnect with people who have mattered to us. So, this Christmas, pay attention to the little things, that perfectly timed like, that memory someone shares, or that thoughtful gesture may be more than coincidence. They are quiet signals of someone's unconscious attention, subtle proof that they were thinking of you. In a world that often moves too fast, noticing these signs helps us appreciate the invisible threads that connect us, showing that even small behaviors can carry the weight of meaningful thought, and reminding us that we are rarely as alone as we sometimes feel. Have you ever wondered why certain people come to mind specifically during the holidays, rather than at random moments? The answer often lies in timing and seasonal cues. Christmas isn't just a date on the calendar, it's a period rich with emotional significance. Decorations, music, scents, and traditions act as triggers, stirring memories that lie dormant in the unconscious mind. These seasonal cues can prompt thoughts of someone you haven't heard from in months or even years. Timing is crucial. Human minds are highly sensitive to patterns, both in the environment and in emotional rhythms. Around Christmas, we naturally reflect on relationships, achievements, and past experiences. This reflective state creates fertile ground for certain thoughts to rise to consciousness. When someone you share meaningful memories with appears in your thoughts at this time, it isn't mere coincidence. It's the unconscious mind responding to emotional and seasonal stimuli, recalling people connected to the feelings the season evokes. Seasonal cues are surprisingly powerful. The smell of pine from a Christmas tree, the sound of a carol, or the sight of twinkling lights can activate a cascade of memories linked to specific people. Your mind has stored these memories alongside emotions, creating a mental network of connections. When a cue appears, it can bring a person to mind, even if you hadn't consciously thought about them. This is why certain friends or loved ones seem to pop up in your mind every year, precisely around this time. Interestingly, the mind's response to seasonal cues isn't one-sided. The people who appear in your thoughts are often experiencing similar triggers. They may remember you when hearing the same song, smelling the same aroma, or seeing similar decorations. This alignment of thoughts is subtle, yet profound. It reflects the unconscious resonance between people who share meaningful connections. Timing and cues simply bring it to the surface. Understanding this helps us appreciate the hidden logic behind our thoughts. Rather than seeing these moments as random or mystical, we can recognize them as natural expressions of the mind's ability to link emotions, memories, and sensory experiences. Christmas, with its unique blend of ritual, nostalgia, and emotion, creates an environment where these connections are more easily noticed. So, this holiday season, notice who comes to mind and why. Pay attention to the cues around you, songs, scents, traditions, and see who appears in your thoughts. That sudden memory or feeling isn't accidental. It's your unconscious highlighting a connection shaped by timing and seasonal context. Recognizing these subtle signals can deepen your understanding of human connection, showing that even when we aren't in direct contact, our minds and hearts continue to respond to the people who matter most. Have you ever had the feeling that someone was thinking of you even when you hadn't heard from them? Perhaps it was during Christmas, a time when reflections and emotions run deep. That sensation isn't random. It's a form of intuition, a subtle awareness that emerges from the unconscious mind, guided by unspoken connections we share with others. These connections can often reveal themselves when the heart and mind are most receptive, such as during the holiday season. Intuition, in this context, is not magic or coincidence. It's your unconscious mind picking up on cues, patterns, and emotional imprints that link you to someone else. The unspoken connection exists because humans naturally form mental and emotional bonds with the people who matter to them. These bonds leave traces in the unconscious, and during emotionally charged periods like Christmas, they become more active. You might sense a presence, feel a sudden memory, or simply know someone is thinking of you, all without any conscious reasoning. This unspoken connection is strengthened by shared experiences. When two people have spent meaningful time together, their emotional imprints and memories align, creating subtle mental resonance. Even if they're far away, or if contact hasn't occurred in months, the unconscious mind carries the signals. Intuition allows one person to sense these signals, producing a feeling that someone is on their mind. It's a quiet form of communication, invisible but surprisingly perceptible. During the holidays, intuition becomes especially noticeable. The season naturally heightens awareness and reflection, encouraging people to think about relationships, gratitude, and connections that have shaped their lives. These reflections activate unconscious memories, which can trigger intuitive feelings. You might suddenly remember someone, feel compelled to reach out, or experience a sense of closeness without explanation. These moments are subtle proof of unspoken connections, evidence that minds can touch even when voices are silent. It's important to recognize the value of intuition in human connection. These subtle signals remind us that relationships are not only sustained by words and actions, but also by the invisible threads of shared experience and memory. Paying attention to intuition can deepen your understanding of who matters in your life and highlight the people who carry significance in your unconscious world. So, this Christmas, trust the feelings that arise when someone unexpectedly comes to mind. That gentle nudge, that sense of presence, or that fleeting memory may be more than chance. It's your intuition recognizing an unspoken connection. These quiet moments are reminders that even when communication is absent, minds and hearts remain linked, and the people who matter to us continue to influence our thoughts and feelings, often in ways we don't immediately see. Have you ever been caught off guard by a memory of someone during the holidays? A memory so vivid, it almost feels like they are with you. This is the power of shared memories and nostalgia. Memories of experiences we've had with others are stored deeply in the mind, and when the holiday season arrives, they often resurface, reminding us of the people who once played important roles in our lives. These recollections aren't random. They are the unconscious mind's way of reconnecting us to the bonds we share with others. Shared memories are formed through experiences that carry emotional significance. It could be a holiday you spent together, a heartfelt conversation, or a simple tradition that became meaningful because of the person involved. Over time, these memories are reinforced by the emotions associated with them. The more emotionally charged the memory, the more likely it is to resurface during moments that evoke similar feelings, such as Christmas. This is why certain people suddenly appear in your thoughts at this time of year. It's the season acting as a trigger, calling forth the memories you share. Nostalgia plays a key role in this process. It is more than just remembering the past. It is an emotional experience that allows us to relive meaningful moments. During the holidays, when traditions, music, and smells are familiar, nostalgia is naturally amplified. A familiar song, the scent of baked cookies, or the sight of twinkling lights can awaken memories tied to specific people. These sensory cues stir emotions and bring someone to mind, sometimes unexpectedly. In this way, nostalgia serves as a bridge between past experiences and present awareness, quietly reminding us of the connections we value. The beauty of shared memories and nostalgia is that they often work both ways. While you may suddenly think of someone, they may be experiencing similar feelings, triggered by their own memories and emotions. These moments are subtle reminders that connections are not just present in the here and now. They live in the shared experiences we carry in our minds. The unconscious mind allows us to remain linked to those we care about, even when physical distance or time separates us. So this Christmas, when someone unexpectedly appears in your thoughts, pause and reflect on the memories you share. Allow yourself to feel the emotions that arise. That sudden thought or memory is proof that your bond exists, quietly maintained by shared experiences and the emotional resonance of nostalgia. Even if words are not exchanged, the people who matter to us continue to influence our thoughts and feelings, showing that the past can reach forward to touch the present, and that meaningful connections endure year after year. Have you ever felt a sudden nudge in your mind? A fleeting thought of someone that seems to come out of nowhere during the holidays? That sensation is what we can call the mind's subtle signals. Tiny, often unnoticed indications that someone has crossed your mental or emotional radar. These signals are not coincidences. They are the unconscious mind's way of highlighting connections, especially during meaningful times like Christmas. The mind constantly processes vast amounts of information, much of which we never consciously notice. Among this information are cues from our relationships, memories, emotional associations, and past experiences. During periods of reflection, like the holiday season, the unconscious mind brings these cues to the surface in subtle ways. You may find yourself thinking of a friend while wrapping gifts, hearing a familiar song, or seeing a decoration that triggers a memory. These mental nudges are subtle signals that point to connections that matter, showing that someone has likely been on your mind, or you on theirs. These subtle signals can take many forms: a sudden memory, an intuitive feeling, or an inexplicable urge to reach out to someone are all ways your mind communicates the presence of others in your thoughts. They can appear in dreams, fleeting reflections, or even in moments of quiet contemplation. While these signals are easy to overlook, paying attention to them can reveal a rich network of unconscious connections, proving that thoughts of certain people are rarely random. The holiday season amplifies these signals. Christmas is a time of tradition, reflection, and emotional resonance, all of which prime the mind to recall meaningful people from the past. The music, scents, and rituals of the season act as triggers, activating memories and emotional imprints that might have been dormant. When these triggers coincide with memories of someone important, the mind produces subtle signals that can feel almost like an invisible handshake across space and time. The remarkable aspect of these signals is that they often reflect mutual attention. While you feel the presence of someone in your thoughts, they may be experiencing a similar unconscious nudge toward you. The mind's subtle signals create a quiet dialogue that exists without words, demonstrating that connection is not limited to conscious communication. So, this Christmas, notice the small signals, the memories that rise unexpectedly, the fleeting thoughts, the gentle intuition that someone is on your mind. These moments are proof of the intricate ways the mind links us to others, showing that even when life separates us physically, the unconscious mind maintains connections, silently reminding us that we are never truly alone. By recognizing these subtle signals, we honor the unseen threads that connect us to the people who matter most, bringing awareness to the quiet magic of human connection.